The following two videos are from a young girl named Bella. She was home alone for over 4 hours when something weird, something terrifying happened to her. What sounded like her mother at her bedroom door, begging to be let in. But the thing is, even though it was her mother's voice, her mother has never spoken to her like that, and she's home alone. There shouldn't be anybody there. Take a look at these videos and tell me what you think.
Open the door for mommy. Bella. Come out. Bella, are you there, honey? Open the door for mommy. Bella. Come out. Bella, are you there, honey?
A ghost story that sounds completely unbelievable but is entirely true.
I've got a bunch of these, but I usually don't talk about them often because people think I'm crazy, so I just don't really talk about them. But the earliest memory that I have of weird things happening to me was when I was in first grade. One of my best friends, she was born very ill. I don't know exactly what she had, but she was very, very small. She was in a wheelchair. She couldn't walk on her own. She had an oxygen tank. By the time she was in first grade, I think she'd had 6 or 7 surgeries already. So she was quite ill. But she was one of my best friends. We read together all the time. We both would bring books out to the playground and we would sit and read, or whatever game we were playing, we would play over by the side so that she could, be as involved as she could be. Like, she was great. I loved her. We were really good friends. Unfortunately, we didn't ever really hang out outside of school because she was quite ill. So I didn't really hang out with her. Like, she didn't come over to play or anything like that. But at school, we were always sitting together in school, at lunch, on the playground, all that stuff. And then at some point during the school year, she had another surgery coming up. And it was supposed to be a routine surgery. It was something that she had had before. Again, I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was a surgery. And her mother had come in and kind of explained a little bit to us what was going to happen. She was going to be out for a few weeks. So the class had, written little, like, get well cards and, like, all these little gifts and trinkets and that kind of thing. And then a couple days later, or a week later, something like that, it was a weekend, and I remember being like, man, I really miss my friend. And I remember waking up in the morning and going downstairs, getting something to eat, or whatever kids do in the morning. And when I'd gone back upstairs to my bedroom, my friend was chilling in my room, and she was like playing and stuff, and she didn't have her wheelchair and she didn't have an oxygen tank. And I was like, this is awesome. Like, your surgery worked, you're better. And she was like, yeah, I'm really good now. Everything's great. I just wanted to play for a little while. So, and it was weird because, like, I mean, in my first grade little, 5, 6-year-old brain, I don't remember thinking anything other than, like, this is fantastic. And, obviously looking back now, I'm like, I shared a room with my sister, my little sister, and she was nowhere to be seen. I have no idea where my sister was, whatever. But we played all afternoon. I remember the games that we played. Like, she really wanted to play Pretty Pretty Princess, so we did that, which, if you remember that game, it was, like, the coolest game ever. So we played that. We played with, like, my little kitchenette set, like, all of the things that she didn't really ever get to do in class with us because she couldn't. We, like, played all afternoon. And then the only other thing that I remember being a little bit weird about that, even at the time, was she kind of just got up and was like, okay, well, it's time for me to go. And I was like, I don't remember the phone ringing. Like, my mom didn't come up and check on us at all, first of all. But also, she didn't, like, come and say, hey, it's time to go. Like, your mom's here. And my friend was just like, yeah, no, I know, but I have to go now. Like, it's time for me to go. And I was like, okay, cool. Well, hey, we'll see you at school. Like, you can come and do all these things on the playground with us now. Like, I'm super excited to see you. And she just kind of, like, smiled and waved and walked out my bedroom door. It wasn't like she vanished or I woke up in my bed. Like, she just waved and walked out the door. And then I went about the rest of my day, and it was what it was. So then a few days after that, my mom had gotten a phone call around dinner time, because I remember we still had landlines. It was the early 90s. So she got up from the kitchen table and answered the phone and kind of looked over at me and my siblings and then walked around the corner as far as the cord would allow her to go, and like was whispering into the phone. And when she came back into the kitchen, she like pulled me aside and she tried to explain to me that it was my friend's mom. The surgery had not gone well. My friend never came out of it. Like, they'd put her under. They couldn't wake her up, so she was gone. And I remember getting so angry where I was like, that's not funny. You don't joke about that kind of thing. Not cool. Like, knock it off. And my mom was like, no, really. Like, this is... And I was like, she was just here the other day. Like, she was just playing with me. And, you know, my mom obviously was like, you know, that was a dream. Obviously, it didn't happen. You were just, you know, missing your friend and whatever. So I was upset. I was very, very distraught. The rest of that school year was pretty rough for me because, you know, my friend that I hung out with every day at school was now no longer there. And it was the first experience that I had had, like, with losing somebody like that. And I was very young, so it was rough. And my mom didn't let me go to the funeral, which I always remember being really upset about, too, because that would have been a closure for me. And I don't know. I mean, maybe that's just me looking at it as an adult, but either way, doesn't matter. The weirder part about all of this is that I am now in my late 30s, and to this day, I've lost quite a few people from my life, unfortunately. Every time somebody is either going to die or get very sick or get really bad news, like diagnoses, stuff like that, my friend, like, I will wake up, and my little first grade looking self, she's like this teeny little tiny girl, will be sitting at the end of my bed. And every time I wake up, I'll look at her, and she'll kind of wait for me to, like, realize what's happening, and then she'll just kind of touch my foot or my leg or whatever and tell me it's going to be rough for a little bit, but then it'll be okay. Like, everything will be okay eventually. And then that's it. And then she'll get up and walk out my door. She never just, like, vanishes. It's always, like, she stands up and walks out the door. And then every time I've seen her, within a week, 2 weeks, something like that, I'll get really bad news. Either a family member has passed, or I've had a couple friends pass, or something happens. So yeah, to this day, my first grade friend comes to warn me about bad news. And that's kind of just the start. Like I said, there's a lot of weird things that happen that kind of follow me, I feel like. But yeah, that's my earliest one. And honestly, at this point, it's kind of a comfort. Like, as bad as every time you see her, you're like, oh shit, something's going to happen. But it's still almost kind of a comfort where I'm like, cool, she's still kind of looking out for me a little bit. So, yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
In this last video, a woman named Rosanna is lying in bed when the most disturbing thing is caught on camera. Now, although she was terrified to the point of being paralyzed by fear, she tries her best to film this incident, and for good reason. Getting this on camera would be the best evidence she's had so far in trying to prove that something isn't right with her apartment. Her place is not what it seems, and it's for this reason that her children can't live with her. Things at home have gotten so bad that she fears for their safety, including her cats. In one video, Rosanna's cat does this. Rosanna's choice to keep her family away from this place is mainly due to this and many other occurrences. But as of recent, something's happened that's fully convinced her to keep not just the family away, but also herself. It's late at night when this is captured. Now, Rosanna states that during this moment, she had seen a shadowy figure appear right behind the door. Soon after, she began to black out as though she was intoxicated. The entirety of this incident is without a doubt pretty freaky, but while it still remains inconclusive on what occurred that night, Rosanna is certain that she won't be staying here for long. Until she has the funds to find another place, Rosanna will continue to own this strange apartment and presumably capture more evidence of these happenings. But as always, let me know your thoughts on this one.
Videos that can't be explained. The last one is crazy. What would you do if you were exploring at night and saw this? Supposedly, you can see if an app is spying on you by clicking the share button, clicking more, and if you see an app that you don't recognize in front of your contacts, delete it immediately. Did this girl discover a glitch in the Matrix?
What is this? Because it looks like it's my nails, right? Girl, I've got all my nails.
Half of a green nail in my bathroom on the floor. I have all of my nails.
TikTok has a secret emoji. If you type the word nap in all lowercase with the bars around it like this, it'll unlock. Let's see who can do it. Before we get to the last scary thing, please support me by clicking the follow button for more interesting posts every day. This man was taking a cute picture with his children when this happened.
Oh, sh**. You look at that. Yeah. Nothing here. Nothing here. Oh my god, I'm so... Oh my god, look, legit goosebumps. Oh my god. What the is that?